China is doing the direct opposite of what United States did in Iraq. United States went to Iraq and destroyed infrastructures. They bombed schools, they bombed, factories. They lied that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. After killing him, up to date, they've not been able to prove the weapons of mass destruction they claim that Saddam Hussein had. So, I'm going to read an article for you. China is building over 1,000 schools in Iraq. Let me read the article for you. So this article is from South China Morning Post. They said China signed deal to build 1,000 schools in Iraq as Beijing pushes for greater role in Middle East after US withdrawal. Okay, I know some people will say this is propaganda. This article can also be found Financial Times. So the same article can also be found on Global Times. So I know some people will say, oh, it's propaganda, it's propaganda. So you can read this article from multiple sources. So let's read the whole thing. Let's continue. The deal will see Power China and Sinotech helping the Iraqi government plans to rebuild the education system after years of war. The country is now a major destination for Chinese investment in the Middle East, and Beijing is the biggest buyer of Iraq oil. China has signed a deal to build 1,000 schools in Iraq as Beijing pushes for bigger role in the Middle East while the United States retreats. Iraqi Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi oversaw the signing of 15 contracts on Thursday with representatives of the Power Construction Corporation of China and Sinotech. So this tweet is also from Iraq government. If you doubt, you can go to Twitter and search for Iraq government. They also tweeted this. Prime Minister Kadhimi oversaw the signing of contracts with China to build 1,000 schools in Iraq within the framework agreement between the two governments. The Chinese side was represented by the Vice President of Power China and the Regional Director of Sinotech. This is according to the Iraqi news agency. Power China will construct 679 schools and the other 321 will be built by Sinotech. This was part of the national project to build a total of 7,000 new schoolhouses as the government tries to reconstruct the education system after years of war. So guys, if you are enjoying this content, please subscribe and like the video so that YouTube will introduce it to more people. Don't forget to hit the like button. So according to UNICEF, nearly 3.2 million school-aged Iraqi children have no access to school. Thursday deal was signed 2 weeks after the U.S. military announced that it had formally ended its combat mission 18 years after U.S. invaded to remove Saddam Hussein. However, some 2,500 U.S. ground force will stay in adversary role. Interesting. So 3.2 million school-age Iraqi children have no access to school, and United States wasted billions of dollars just to destroy Iraq. Interesting. Let's continue. U.S. armed forces initially withdrew from the country in 2011, but former President Barack Obama then sent them back in 2014 after Islamic State militants seized large territory of Iraq and Syria. The announcement that they will be withdrawn this year reflected the U.S. shift to Asia Pacific as U.S. President Joe Biden administration prioritizes on challenge from China. Meanwhile, China has been stepping up engagement with Middle East to fill the gap left by U.S. in recent years. During a phone conversation with Iraqi President Barham Salih in August, Chinese President Xi Jinping said China will continue to support reconstruction efforts in the country. According to China embassy in Baghdad, Iraq is now a major destination for Chinese investment in the Middle East, mostly in the oil industry. China is the largest buyer of oil produced in Iraq. Chinese companies are also in talk to build more infrastructure in the country, from the power supplies, communications to schools, water supplies, airport and railway lines. Okay. Meanwhile, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi expressed support for Iran's legitimate and reasonable claims. In resumed nuclear talks during a phone conversation with his Iraqi counterpart Hussein Ammar Abdullahian on Thursday, Wang also said Beijing remained committed to developing a comprehensive strategic partnership with Iran, according to Foreign Ministry statement. Note, this happened back in May. That is the difference between America and China. America destroy whilst the Chinese build. So all the money America wastes in wars, why don't they invest this money into infrastructure? After destroying Iraq for over 18 years, they decided to pack their things and they left the country. And China is now building the city. And America is telling the whole world that China is evil. They are communists. They want us to see China as evil. But look at what America did in Iraq. Where is the weapons of mass destruction America claims Saddam Hussein had? Where is the weapons of mass destruction? After killing Saddam Hussein, America starved over 1 million Iraqis to death with sanctions. And today, look at what China is doing. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also like the video. Thank you.